more for you, you feel it. You know it. This is your life, and it's time to go from contender to champion. This is The Show with John Madsen.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm your host, John Madsen. This is The Show. Very excited for you to be here today. I'm excited to be here. I want to remind you, if anything I say resonates with you and this show is impacting your life in a positive way, I want to hear about it. That's why I do this show. Please take a screenshot and tag me in your Instagram. I love hearing from people who has had an experience with something that I've said and it's resonated. Because if that's not happening, this show doesn't mean shit. So please, if you feel that way, please share it with somebody else and share it on your social, because that's the only way we're growing. We're growing exponentially right now, and it's all thanks to you guys. So you can always find me at John Madsen Official on Instagram. And if you want to know what my coaching program would look like for you and you want to taste a little bit of it, go to athleticafchallenge.com. There's a 5-day free day coaching program where you're going to get meal plan, you're going to get a training program, but most importantly, I'm going to start to shift your mentality to actually achieve the physical fitness goal that you have for yourself. And my core foundational philosophy is that how you do one thing is how you do everything. So inside that coaching program, it's going to be about fitness, but it's actually going to be a lot more than that. And I need to create the framework for you to actually hit the goals that you have for yourself. So athleticafchallenge.com. I'd love to see you on the inside. Today, I wanted to talk about something that keeps popping up in my social feeds, and I keep trying to delete every fucking person who does this, but no matter what, I forget that the majority of people don't really know what they're doing. They're sleepwalking around and they just can't help it. But there is a rule that if you want a spectacular life, you are going to have to adopt right now. You see, the person that you look to that's living at that next level versus the person that you see who's stuck and frustrated and just can't seem to have anything go right, it's not monumental differences in everything they do. It's little subtle things and belief patterns that make that huge behavioral change. Yes, their habits are way different. Yes, their behavior is different. But at the root of it, their belief system is just a little bit different. And because that belief system is a little bit different, everything else is exponentially different. And the thing that I want to talk about in this episode, and the thing that I'm going to urge you to do, is to stop arguing for your limitations and start believing in your possibilities. Stop. Whatever you do, stop. Fucking stop arguing for your limitations. Start believing in the possibilities. Because here's the thing. Your limiting decisions, the reasons that you have for yourself for not being able to do something or achieve something, will never allow you to achieve whatever it is you want. So even though if you consciously say that I want X, but everything you do is to argue about why you are limited in your ability to achieve it, you can never fucking achieve it, and you can never expect to. You see, there's a theme in all of these podcasts that your words are way more powerful than you ever thought. The way you speak correlates very closely to what you actually believe. The people who are at the top, the people who are CEOs, the people who are crushing it, their belief systems are different. They believe in possibility while you believe in limitation. They believe in abundance, you believe in scarcity. Their foundational beliefs catapult them to exponential success, while your limiting decisions keep you chained to mediocrity or average. You know these people on Facebook and Instagram when every other post is about them being sick, about their kids being sick, about them rolling an ankle, about them in a cast, about them ending up in the hospital, about them having a flat tire on the way to work, about them, you name the motherfucking thing. I literally know people who, out of 10 posts on social, all 10 of them are about some crazy fucking event or how sick they are. And then they get the little comments from their comfort group asking if they're all right, if they need anything. Oh my God, can't believe that happened. You're the unluckiest person in the world. Holy shit. Fucking stop that shit. I'll be fucking damned if I'm posting any of that bullshit on social media. This woe is me, oh my God, I can't believe this shit happened, bullshit. Because you know what that's doing? You're literally arguing. It's like you're your own attorney and you're sentencing yourself to never achieve anything. And what it really comes down to, and the ironic thing and the thing that I realized is that the people, I know a lot of you, if any of you do this, then just stop. But if you're listening and you're driving and you're like, holy shit, I know somebody who does that. I see that shit all the time. Then you know what I'm talking about. And it's unfortunate because it's this vicious cycle. And once again, we're going to come to the big word that is key in almost everything I talk about, which is awareness. They're just simply not aware that they're doing that, but they have no chance to break free of it. The thing that I realize is that there's secondary gain. There's secondary gain to having negative shit happen. If they post on social about them rolling an ankle or breaking a leg or getting sick again, then their little comfort group comes to the rescue and says how sorry they are. They're getting the attention they wanted. And them not being aware of it is this was a decision that was made so long ago, unconsciously. It's this pattern to where they know when shit goes wrong that people are going to come and ask if they're okay and blah, blah, blah. They're going to get what they wanted. So instead of getting what they wanted in a positive way, they don't know how to do that. They're getting their way by having people feel sorry for them. And the reason I wanted to mention this on the show is for you to become aware of any time you do this. Now, I don't need you to be on social media and try to make every single picture like it's the most perfect thing in the world. Because we all know and we all want to feel that that person that we're connecting with is real. So you can have some vulnerable moments, which is courageous on your part. But you don't want every single post to be this sad sob story about everything in the world happening to you and how unlucky you are. You see, when you argue for your limitations, you're keeping yourself shackled. You have no room for growth. So you might be driving down the road right now and you're probably thinking, cool, John, I get it. I know those people, they fucking annoy me too, but I'm actually not like that, but because I'm good. I'm good. And I'm here to tell you, it might be a little more subtle than that. It might not be that extreme example of that person who wants to argue every little thing. Another example, and not to take anything away from any single mothers out there, I know how hard it is. But when you label yourself and everything is, I'm just a single mom, blah, blah, blah. I'm just blah, blah, blah. You put this label on yourself that you can never break free from. You're putting yourself in a tiny little box and putting a lock on it. Don't ever, ever, ever refer to yourself as I'm just. You are not just. You're diminishing what you are, who you are, and how special you are if you ever start with I'm just. I'm a fucking badass would be better. You have to start loving yourself if you're ever, ever, ever going to expect other people to. And that's a whole other show for a whole other day. The labels are important. But getting back to the point, the subtlety of arguing for your limitations. There was a time when I was struggling in business. I wouldn't even say struggling. There was a time I was doing business. I went to this Tony Robbins event, Business Mastery. I have some friends that went there with us. Not with us, but some friends in the same city that we ran into there. And then we cultivated this friendship, and this couple is about 10 years older than me and my wife, and they have a business that's super successful. They're ballers. And we have this friendship, and my business is starting to take off. It's not where I want it to be, and this couple is our friends. They're helping us, and we, funny thing about entrepreneurs is when you hang out with other entrepreneurs, it's not that you want to talk, it's not that you just talk about business. It's just because that's a huge piece of who you are and what you do. When you're an achiever, you want to keep moving the ball forward. So you're bouncing ideas off each other, and it's just this, it's fun. And if you're an entrepreneur, you know it when this shit's important. It's important for you to grow. So when you're around other people with growth mindsets who want to grow, it's important. But there was so many times when they would give me an idea, or they would say, hey, John, I think you should do this. And I was so stuck in my own way and so fixed. Even though I thought of myself as a growth mindset person, I was fixed. And it held me back. Oh my God, it held years back for me. I was so stubborn. I would say in my head as they were speaking, I'd have this internal voice yeah, these guys don't know anything about my business. So, it would go in one ear and out the other. And I'd fast forward until a point I am right now. And I think back about some of these conversations that I had 3 years ago. And I'm like, holy shit, they told me this 3 years ago, and I couldn't fucking listen to it. I couldn't listen. I had to figure it out on my own. If I just would have listened, I'd be 3 years ahead. It literally cost me multiple times. It cost me multiple thousands of dollars in addition to tons of time. I would have rather argued for my limitation than to believe in their possibility. They'd have big ideas. And it was so big, I'd shut them down and be like, no fucking way, man. That I can't do that shit. So you don't even need to say it. When you say it, it's like a double stamp of, you better really watch out. But when you think it, it's just as bad. Yeah, but this arguing for limitation usually comes in the form of yeah, but, or I'm just. Starting to get the point here. When you listen to people, listen to how they're speaking. When you listen and really dive in and start listening to yourself, listen to your internal dialogue, because this stuff will hold you back for so long. You have to become aware of how you're thinking and how you're speaking. Because this subtle difference, I've hung around some super successful people now. and the way they speak with these huge ideas. There's a book called The Magic of Thinking Big. Huge ideas. Nothing is impossible for them. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, they weren't arguing for their limitations. They were believing in possibilities that are too big for most people to comprehend. In fitness, if I get a coaching client who has everything in the world wrong with them, I can't work with them. They'd rather argue for their limitation than to become better. I can't do this because this. I have this. My doctor said this. Blah, 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 blah. Got to be very, very careful because a lot of people don't even know what they're doing. These are unconscious decisions. These are unconscious limiting beliefs that are playing out because you're arguing for them instead of trying to blow them the fuck up. So over the next couple days, listen to people's speech patterns. Listen how they argue for what they can't do. Listen how they argue for their limitations. And what I want you to do is start believing in possibilities so big that it scares you. Because when you do that, magic's gonna happen.
Thank you so much for joining us for another amazing episode of The Show with John Madsen. The greatest compliment that you could give us is liking, loving, and sharing this episode with all of your friends. So please go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and then share it online with everyone that you know. Make sure to tag John as well. He loves to hear from listeners of the show. The links for all of his socials and iTunes are in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to engage John for anything related to his coaching, consulting, or programs, please visit johnmadsen.com for everything you'd need to know on how to engage with John offline. And lastly, thank you for your time, your attention, and your consideration. This is The Show.